Not sure how to pass the PMP exam on your first attempt, or need insights on how to make your PMP exam preparation easy, effective, and do it in record time? If so, this video is for you. In this video, we will cover the critical steps and strategies that are crucial for PMP exam preparation. So, without further ado, let's get started. We will cover the exam preparation in 6 parts. First, the study backlog. Here we will see the major topics for the exam and their priority or weightage. I've handpicked a list of 50 topics which are crucial to pass the PMP exam. This is based on 80-20 rule. Most of the questions come from a few major topics. Second, the learning approach. We must use a multimodal approach, that is a combination of visual learning, which is nothing but video lectures, reading, and experiential learning like practice questions and flashcards. Third, how to use PMI Infinity. PMI Infinity is a retrieval augmented generation RAG tool built on a large language model similar to ChatGPT developed by PMI. It serves as an effective study companion and significantly reduces the need to read multiple books. It can provide examples, scenarios, and sample project documents to expedite your learning process. Next, we will learn about seeds. Seeds are knowledge bytes on which the exam question scenarios are developed. I will demonstrate this with an example so that you understand it clearly. When you learn concepts, you should develop your own seed list to use it for revision. Trust me, after mastering this, you will be able to decipher every question and solve it just like that. Next, I will teach you the best and proven exam preparation approach. Here we will talk about the importance of module-wise test, also called as chapter test. Directly taking the mock exams will create a delayed feedback loop. We will cover the fail fast approach and correction processes. I will also cover what you need to do between taking mock exams. Last, how to find out if you are ready for the exam. Let's start with the study backlog. As you know, the PMP exam is based on the PMP exam content outline, ECO. This document lists all the topics you need to prepare for the exam. What I've done is taken all those topics and ranked them based on their relative importance. And I used three key criteria for this. First, feedback from past learners. This is based on real exam takers' experience, so it's primarily empirical. Second, expert judgment. Have evaluated which topics have more scope to generate questions. For example, scope and schedule management modules generally have more weightage and offer more question opportunities than, say, resource management. Third, task count and domain weightage. I considered how many tasks under each domain in the PMP exam content outline and assigned weightage for each domain. Based on all this, I have prepared a study backlog containing 50 essential topics. Mastering these 50 topics will help you tackle around 70% of the exam questions. You might be familiar with the Pareto principle. 80% of results come from 20% of the effort. That's exactly what we are applying here. I've trained over 10,000 PMP aspirants, and I can confidently say mastering these 50 topics is pure gold. Follow the order given because it's based on priority and weightage. In the study backlog, I have also included the depth of coverage required for each topic. This will help you understand how much focus is needed for each topic. You can download the study backlog from the description. Use this topic list to build your study plan. However, I strongly encourage you not to skip the remaining topics in the syllabus. While the backlog will help you cover the key topics in a short time, the miscellaneous topics also matters, especially if you are aiming for a higher score. Now let's talk about your learning approach. I have already mentioned we will use a multimodal method. This means combining different learning styles for maximum effectiveness. We'll begin with visual learning, which will be your primary method. You will use video lectures to cover most of the exam concepts. This is the easiest and most interactive way to learn. While watching these videos, make sure to take good notes. You can use a quality self paced course from Udemy or any other platform as long as it presents the material in a structured way with clear modules and well organized topics under each module. If you're attending a live session, that's great. It's also a form of visual learning. Be sure to use session recordings provided by the training company for revision. If you're planning to buy a course, I highly recommend checking out my Udemy course. which covers all concepts in depth with real world examples and a brain friendly teaching method. You can find the link of this course in the description. Next, let's talk about reading. Many learners skip this step, and unfortunately, many training providers encourage that because they know your pain point and they turn it into their business model. But trust me, without at least some reading, it's very difficult to pass the exam. Yes, a few people have passed without much reading, but that's the exception, not the rule. We don't need to read a lot, but we must do some reading to fill in the gaps. I would say about 80% of your understanding will come from visual learning, and the remaining 20% will come from reading. You might ask, which books should I read? Is there an easy way to manage the reading part? Don't worry, I will cover that shortly. Before that, we need to talk about the third method, that is experiential learning. This is about applying what you have learned by solving practice questions, playing learning games, using flashcards, and attempting quizzes. These help reinforce the concepts in a fun and practical way. So, to summarize, your ideal learning strategy should be a balanced mix of video learning, reading, and practice. If you align your approach this way, your chance of passing the exam will increase significantly. Next, let's talk about PMI Infinity. As I mentioned earlier, reading is essential to prepare for the PMP exam and to score well. One of the main reasons people fail, in my experience, is that they skip reading altogether. Video lectures are great for introducing and explaining concepts, but they often simplify or summarize the content. Reading allows you to go deeper and explore the nuances. Studies show that reading improves information retention. When you read and actively engage with the material by highlighting, taking notes, or rephrasing in your own words, you reinforce learning more effectively than passive watching. And I understand why reading isn't always comfortable. It can be stressful and overwhelming for many learners. I get you. So I want to recommend an easy way to deal with that pressure and overcome this challenge. And that's PMI Infinity. PMI Infinity is similar to any generative AI like ChatGPT. It is actually built on ChatGPT, but it uses a method called RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. It's trained using PMI project documents, reference materials, standards, and other resources. So any answer it provides will be aligned 100% with PMI's expectations and standards. That makes it a great resource for your exam preparation. Now we already know how to ask questions to a generative AI like ChatGPT. So, will we use the same approach with PMI Infinity? Yes, we will. To access PMI Infinity, you first need an active PMI membership. You have to pay a fee for it, and it's valid for 1 year. But it's totally worth it because you also get a huge discount on the exam fee if you have the PMI membership. In fact, the discount you get on exam fee is more than the cost of the membership itself. Once your membership is active, you can access PMI Infinity through the provided link. You can then start prompting your questions and get responses instantaneously. Now, let me show you why this is better than reading a book. Imagine you are watching a lecture on risk management and you have few questions to help you understand the concept better. You can just ask PMI Infinity like this: define project risks. Then, can you give me some examples of both positive and negative risks? I'm from construction domain, so examples from a construction project would be helpful. Next, can you assign probability and impact scores for these risks and explain the basis for assigning those scores? What's the role of the probability impact matrix here? Can you provide a sample risk register? Thank you. See how easy and effective that learning process becomes? Within minutes, you get examples, sample documents, and connected insights on demand. That's the power of using a generative AI system like PMI Infinity for your preparation. When I say reading, This is what I mean. Even if you refer to books, you will be doing the same thing but without the flexibility. Books don't always present content in the order you need. Examples may not match your professional background. You won't get sample documents. And if you want to understand how one topic connects to another, you will have to flip through pages and manually connect the dots. The best way to learn is by asking questions and reasoning through the answers. And that's exactly what generative AI does exceptionally well. So go for it. Ask the system to provide examples, sample documents, illustrations, project scenarios, and help you jump from one topic to another topic. This encourages incremental learning, which makes it easier to understand and retain what you have learned. You can also refer to your chat history later for revision. Now, if you don't have a PMI membership or access to PMI Infinity, you can still use other tools like ChatGPT, Brad, or Gemini. They will work fine, and in my experience, they do better than PMI Infinity. But keep in mind that their answers may not always be fully aligned with PMI standard. Trust me, this is one of the most underrated methods out there, and many people don't talk about it, maybe because it doesn't fit into their business models. Now, let's learn about seeds. You might be wondering, what are seeds? I know, let me explain it to you. To create any scenario based question specifically for PMP exam where you need to solve around 180 such questions, the question setters need a method to build these scenarios. You can't just randomly imagine a situation and form a question. There is a structure to it, and I will teach you how these questions are actually set. It all start with the knowledge byte. This knowledge byte is then embedded into a scenario or used to frame one. The goal is to test whether the exam taker is familiar with that knowledge byte. If someone has a good understanding of project management concepts, they will be able to figure out what the question is really asking and solve it with confidence. Let me show you with an example. Can you solve this question? Pause the video now and give it a try and then resume. Done? Great. Now let's figure out which seed this question is based on. Let's refer to the PMBOK guide and go to the schedule management knowledge area, page number 210. This paragraph is rich in seeds. Now let's pick this knowledge byte from here. Schedule networks may have multiple near critical paths. Next, we will go to page number 227 and pick this one. Evaluating the progress of activities on near critical paths can identify schedule risks. Now let's convert these seeds into a scenario based question. In fact, the question you just solved was based on these seeds. Can you now see the seeds embedded in this question? Yes, great. And once you recognize the seed, wasn't it much easier to solve? Of course. Here's the point, every question on the exam is based on one or more seeds. So, the best way to solve a question is to first figure out which seed or seeds it is based on. Once you do that, answering becomes much easier. You can even eliminate wrong options using this method. If an option contradicts the knowledge byte, you know, just rule it out. For example, if an option suggests extending the sprint duration because of incomplete work, that's incorrect. Sprint durations are time boxed and cannot be extended. I hope that's clear now. Once your eyes are trained to identify seeds, you cannot unsee them. It becomes second nature and it will help you solve questions much faster. So, while preparing, whether you are watching videos or reading topics, make sure to take notes of these seeds and keep them handy for quick revision before the exam. If you find this video useful, please consider liking this video and also subscribing to my channel. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Next, let's talk about a proven and effective exam preparation approach. You might already know about Deming's cycle, plan, do, check, act. This is a continuous improvement method used in quality management, and we will apply the same concept to our exam preparation. But before diving into the approach, let me first tell you what you need for your PMP exam preparation. First, you need to learn all the topics outlined in the exam content outline. For that, you need a solid PMP exam preparation course that covers both the PMBOK guide and Agile practice guide, if not PMI Infinity. Second, you must have a good set of module wise test questions. We'll also call these questions as chapter test questions. After studying a module or a specific topic, you must attempt questions from that area to confirm whether your understanding is sound and whether you can apply those concepts in scenario based questions. Now, what's the benefit of this approach? It helps you to seek early feedback, which is crucial to correcting mistakes and avoiding repeating them later. We want to use this strategy to prevent failures in the full mock exams we will taking after completing all the chapter tests. There are many good question sets available in the market. I have created one through my company and I have provided the link in the description. You can check it out. Next, you will need 5 full length mock exams, each with 180 questions. Even if PMI changes the number of questions in the future, preparing with 5 full mock exams is still effective. Make sure you choose high quality mock exams that closely resembles the real exam. Also ensure that the test platform includes features like mark for review, countdown timers, and question types like drag and drop. Now we are ready to talk about the approach itself. Plan, do, check, act. Start by grouping the exam topics into 11 modules. I have already prepared this list for you. Below each module, I have included the relevant topics. So you complete each topic, that's the plan part. Then take the corresponding module test, that's the do part. After completing the test, you need to review your answers, especially the ones you got wrong. Try to understand where your concepts unclear. Did you misread or misunderstand the question? Why did you choose a wrong option? Why didn't you eliminate it? Why didn't you select the correct answer? I know this review process takes time, but trust me, if you don't do it, you won't realize the type of mistakes you are making and you will keep repeating them. Your scores won't improve and you may end up failing in the exam. This review is the check part. Once you have identified the reasons for your mistakes, it's time to take action. Revisit the topics, revise the concepts you are unclear about, seek help from a mentor, or refer to additional materials. You can use the study plan to select and read only the topics that are your areas of improvement. There's no need to read all the topics from the books, just focus on the ones where you want to strengthen your understanding. When you do this, you are closing your knowledge gaps. This is the act part. I hope it's now clear how to apply plan, do, check, act methodology to your exam preparation. Repeat this process after each module test. Once you are done with all the modules, it's time to take the mock exams. But before taking the mock exams, there are a few things you must know. Actually, you should know about these things even before beginning the chapter test. They are PMP exam mindset, PMP exam question types, and exam time management techniques. These are essentials. We won't go over them in this video because I have made separate videos that explain all the three things in detail. You will find the link in the description. Once you are clear on these topics, you will be in a better position to attempt the mock exams effectively. Also, before each mock exam, do a quick revision of some of the important project management concepts. Remember, by the time you reach this point, many weeks have passed since you last visited certain topics. As the saying goes, repetition is the mother of learning. So, review your notes or key concepts before each mock. Also, between mock exams, keep revisiting topics you are weak in so that you retain them long term. We will use the same plan, do, check, act approach for mock exams. Start with plan, do a quick revision of all the topics, then do the first mock exam. Next, check, go over all the incorrect answers and understand your mistakes. Record your mistakes in a notebook or Excel spreadsheet. Let's say you have got 130 out of 180 questions correct. That means you got 50 questions wrong. Find out why, document each mistake. Now, here's something powerful. Start grouping your mistakes using the affinity diagram method. For example, you got 7 questions wrong because you didn't think like a servant leader. 8 questions were wrong because you confused risks with issues. 6 questions wrong because you didn't identify whether the project was predictive or agile. Some mistakes won't fit into any group. Put them in another column. Why do this grouping? Because out of 50 mistakes, most can usually be tracked back to 4 to 6 core issues. If you address these root causes, your score in the next mock will improve significantly. That's a check step. Then comes act. Revisit those lessons, watch the necessary videos, and strengthen your understanding. Now you're ready to take the second mock. Repeat the entire process. Follow this method for all 5 mock exams. If you do this properly, your scores will improve after every mock and you will build the confidence needed to clear the final exam. I don't recommend taking more than 5 mock exams, it's not necessary. But make sure that the mocks you are taking are high quality and created by a good training provider. All right, the last thing we're gonna talk about is how to know if you're really ready for the PMP exam. The answer is actually quite simple. After taking 5 full length mock exams, your average score should be 75% or higher. If that's the case, then assuming you have used a good quality mock exam simulator, then you are exam ready. If you have followed the approach I recommended earlier using the plan, do, check, act method, your scores should gradually improve with each mock exam. That steady progress is a strong sign that your preparation is on the right track. Now, let me give you a quick readiness checklist. Go through these checkpoints one by one before you take the real exam. Is your average score across 5 full mock exams greater than or equal to 75%? Are you able to manage your exam time effectively? That is, finishing 180 questions within 230 minutes, including a break of no more than 20 minutes? Are you consistently scoring above 75% in all 3 domains: people, process, and business? This is crucial. Scoring low in even one domain, say business, can lead to failure, even if you do well in others. Fourth point, are you fully aware of the PMP exam mindset and applying it while solving questions? Fifth, can you recognize and correctly answer the different PMP exam question types? Six, and here an important one. Even if you don't love it, have you done the required reading? I don't just mean watching video lectures. I mean actually reading through the PMBOK guide, Agile Practice Guide, or Infinity, at least the key areas. If you can confidently check all of these items, then congratulations, you are ready to take the exam. One last piece of advice: don't wait till everything is perfect to schedule your exam. Set a tentative date and schedule the exam in advance. This gives you a clear target and helps you stay focused. Most people take between 6 to 8 weeks to prepare, but don't worry if you need more time. This isn't a race. You are not competing with anyone else. Go at your own pace and prepare thoroughly. That's all for this video on preparing for the PMP exam. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. And if you are serious about passing the PMP exam, make sure to check out the other videos linked in the description. They will definitely help you on your journey. Thanks for watching and my best wishes for your PMP exam success.